In this video, I'm going to share with you the worst etiquette mistakes someone can make at a wedding. Mistakes that, if you've done or even thought about doing any of them, I hate to tell you, but you're a terrible guest. Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to the Etiquette e Protocolo channel. I'm Juliana Santiago, co-founder of the Instituto de Etiquette e Protocolo, a teacher and etiquette specialist, and today we're going to talk a little more about wedding etiquette. How you can be a proper guest, how you can be a considerate guest for the bride and groom. So if you're a bride, share this video on your social media to teach your guests some etiquette rules. If you just got here now, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to check out all the content. One thing that people sometimes don't really stop to think about is that a wedding is a very important occasion. It's a very special day for the couple who are starting their life together, for their families, for the parents of the couple who are there sharing this moment. It's something very grand and very special. So when you receive a wedding invitation, there are indeed rules and practices that, if you follow them, will certainly make you a considerate guest, a more welcome presence for the couple. Many people end up not paying attention and not giving much importance to wedding etiquette rules. But a wedding is almost one of the most formal events we have. It really is. In our daily lives, it's one of the occasions where we actually wear something special. You're also going to celebrate something very special with someone. And it's also something where there are rituals and protocols that happen during a wedding ceremony and party. So now, what are the best practices for you to be a good wedding guest? Let's go. First point, one thing you should never do at a wedding is arrive late. A wedding has rituals, it has protocols that take place throughout the wedding, and it's essential that you participate in the whole process. Never forget that at a wedding, we have the ceremony and the reception. Some weddings, right? They have the ceremony, and right after, the bride and groom receive congratulations at a party. So in both situations, there are indeed moments that should happen at certain times. There's a time when each moment, each ritual of that wedding is going to happen. When it comes to the ceremony, it's essential that you arrive at the time stated on the invitation. When it comes to a ceremony held in a church, usually the time is exactly as stated. There aren't many delays, especially because often there is more than one wedding happening in that same church. So they have the exact time scheduled for that ritual, that celebration, that ceremony to take place. So make sure to pay attention to the time. If the wedding is held at the same place where the couple will receive congratulations, at the same place as the party, it's important that you also arrive on time. Many times when the wedding is at the same place as the party, people tend to arrive very late. And then the couple also ends up delaying the start of the wedding because at the scheduled time, there's no one there. They won't get married without people there to bless that celebration, that big ritual. So it's important for you to arrive on time regardless of the style or type of wedding that's going to happen. Another point is that you shouldn't ignore the dress code, the appropriate attire for that wedding. I believe that most people watching this video have probably already been to a wedding because sometimes we go to weddings. Even when we're children, we attend this kind of celebration. Usually for men, the best outfit for a wedding is a suit and tie with dress shoes. As for women, they can wear a long dress, which will always be very elegant and very appropriate. But of course, nowadays, there are weddings of all kinds and styles, and they take place in many different locations. Nowadays, for example, it's very common to get married on the beach. And on the beach, it's not going to be very appropriate for a man to wear a suit and tie. As for women, they can wear a shorter dress or a lighter dress as well, because at this kind of event, it's very hot on the beach. So, if you have any doubts about the dress code for that wedding, always check with the bride and groom. If you have any doubts, are you unsure about which dress code is most appropriate? Also, try to get a sense of the type of event it is. Is it an evening wedding that takes place at a venue where there will be a ceremony and then a party? Or is it just a ceremony, just a wedding without a party? But if it's going to happen in the evening in a more formal setting, we can already tell that the most appropriate dress code is the traditional dress code for a wedding. Now, when you receive an invitation, for example, to a wedding at a country house, something that you notice is a bit different. I myself have already been to a wedding that was a completely laid-back party, and the bride and groom even said that women could wear flat sandals. At this type of event, it's a good idea to check with the bride and groom about what the most appropriate dress code is, and also make sure that you're attending in a way that's suitable for that kind of event. Because it's also not a good idea to show up at a more relaxed wedding dress too formally. So you might feel bad, you might feel like the odd one out, or feel insecure in that situation if you're not dressed like everyone else in the same style as the other guests. So make sure you always dress appropriately. There's another factor as well. Still talking about the ceremony, I think one of the main mistakes is talking during the ceremony. I know there are ceremonies of all kinds with different formats and durations, some longer and some shorter. That really depends on the style of the wedding and the style of that celebration, but it's important to respect the ceremony no matter the format. So, avoid talking during the ceremony and also avoid anything that might distract you from the ceremony. Cell phones, anything that might give the impression that you're not paying attention. Because showing respect to the couple and to the new family being formed there is essential. Another mistake that some people make is actually not giving a gift. I know that the couple, they're not having the wedding or they're not there holding that ceremony, building that family, expecting that they're going to get gifts. I think the couple shouldn't expect to get lots and lots of gifts. But the fact is that not sending a gift is, yes, rude. After all, the person is there celebrating a very special moment, and a gift has this symbolic value of showing that the person means something to you. Here, we're not talking about monetary value. You can give a gift that matches your financial situation. You can give what you can give, you'll give what you can. But it's essential that you show the person they're important through a symbolic gift. You can choose something that represents the couple that makes sense for you, or something you think will be useful in the couple's life. But the fact is that giving a gift is always a very nice gesture. Still talking about wedding etiquette mistakes, I mentioned talking and avoiding possible distractions during the ceremony. But there's one item that people don't just use during the ceremony, they use it all the time, which is the cell phone. People aren't just on their phones during the ceremony. Taking pictures, sometimes taking too many pictures, standing in front of the wedding photographers. The photographer who was actually hired can't take a picture because you're blocking them with your cell phone. But even during the party, sometimes at a wedding where there was a party right after, the person prefers to stay on their phone the whole time and ends up being inappropriate. Instead of actually experiencing that moment, being present with the couple, sharing that moment with them. So be very careful with your phone during these events, especially during the rituals like the wedding ceremony itself. Using your phone shows that you're not paying attention, so it's important for us to be careful. The phone is one of the main factors. There are a lot of people getting married these days. They're asking people not to take pictures of the bride and groom, to leave that to the photographers to capture the couple. Because sometimes people get in the way of the photographers themselves by trying to take pictures at that moment. And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe here to the Etiquette e Protocolo channel, and of course, follow me on social media on Instagram, Etiquette e Protocolo. Every day I put up a question box. Questions? Do you have any questions or video suggestions? Come talk to me. I'm waiting for you over on Instagram. Continuing our list of etiquette mistakes that people make at weddings. Another factor is not confirming your attendance. This RSVP thing is something new for a lot of people. Many people don't have this habit, they aren't used to it. But if you know you're going to the wedding, if you've planned to be there, confirm your attendance. Nowadays, it's very common for the bride and groom to even have wedding websites. They create a wedding website and put information about the party, sometimes even information about the dress code also. They put information about gifts on the couple's website, online gift registries. So these types of websites are becoming more and more popular and common. We've had this for about 10 years now. Wedding websites are becoming more and more common and well established. Often there's a place to RSVP where you can even leave a message for the couple or send a really nice note, so make sure you confirm your attendance. If there isn't a website, there's no place for you to do this without bothering the couple, because sometimes you don't want to pick up the phone and call the person. You can confirm in person when you receive the invitation. Do you already know if you're going? Go ahead and confirm your attendance so the couple already has an estimate of the guests. And another idea is to confirm with the wedding planner. You can check who the planner is for that wedding and confirm with them. There are many people who even set up RSVP through the wedding planner's WhatsApp, so you have the assistant's contacts there, right? So these are some alternatives you can use to RSVP, but make sure you confirm your attendance. It's interesting because the couple, especially in a wedding that's going to be followed by a party, right? Having an estimate of the number of guests really helps the couple plan everything. It makes things better, right, on that date with the vendors and everything. So if someone asked you to confirm, make sure you do. If the couple doesn't ask for confirmation, ask them, talk to them. You can say, hey, is there somewhere I can confirm my attendance? It's worth asking. It's worth looking for that information. Showing that you're an interested guest is essential. The person realizes that their event is important. They know that moment matters to them, but it's also important to you. And then when you make yourself a guest, it's special. When you make yourself an interested guest, an involved guest, the person starts to value you more. You know, sometimes you don't have a very close bond with the couple, but if you value that invitation, the person notices. Wow, how nice that I invited Juliana. She's really involved with my wedding. I feel like my wedding is something important to her too. So it's important for us to show that. Another factor for being a good wedding guest is not overdoing it with alcohol. No one wants to go through an embarrassing situation because, or sometimes you drank too much and ended up saying something you shouldn't have, or doing something you wouldn't do if you weren't drunk. Not to mention that many times when you drink too much, you can even end up getting in the way. The party can create awkward and inappropriate situations that can even make the hosts of the night, the bride and groom, or their parents uncomfortable. It's with an image. É ruim de você, sabe? It can disrupt the party's flow. Have you considered that? Sometimes you drink too much and break a vase, you're going to hurt yourself. Have you ever thought about the consequences that this brings to the party? Will the party go on and work the same way? Certainly not. So be careful if you notice you're overdoing it with the drinks. It's important to control that factor. Of course, we can't forget to talk about weddings, and that's the issue of table etiquette. After all, you're going to eat in front of other people, whether it's grabbing a snack or even having dinner at that moment. Sometimes some weddings don't have a dinner served at the buffet. They have a plated hot meal. But the fact is that you will eat in front of other people. And having good manners while enjoying your food is essential for making a good impression and also conveying a positive image. So pay attention to your table manners. This is one of those moments when we need to show that we know what we're doing. Of course, table etiquette should be used every day, but especially at a party or an event where you will be sharing the table with other people. Naturally, people will observe you, and making sure they have a positive impression of you is essential. That's why, if you haven't taken my table etiquette training yet, I'll leave the coupon code YouTube here so you can join our training. Instituto Etiqueta e Protocolo. There, you will learn how to actually hold a fork, hold a knife, how to hold glasses, and how to handle certain foods at the table. It's difficult to understand more about this. It's a course that you can complete in just one day, but it will definitely transform the way you behave at the table. If you haven't taken any training with us, use the coupon code YouTube. You'll get a very special discount. Don't miss out. Still continuing with etiquette mistakes for wedding guests, mistakes I also notice when I go to parties. A big one is not greeting the bride and groom. I know that many times you're invited, for example, by the parents of the bride and groom, so it's natural for you to go greet the person you know best. Sometimes you're more of a friend of the groom's mother, so you go and greet her. But it's also essential that you greet the bride and groom. After all, they're building a family, they're beginning their story together right there. And you're getting the opportunity to take part. Enjoy the celebration and share the love with them. So it's worth greeting the bride and groom. Don't forget to greet them. You might ask me, Jew, but I, as the groom's mother's friend, I don't know the groom. I don't really know the bride. Anyway, it's a bigger party. They invited a lot of people. Introduce yourself. Hi, Maria. How are you? Wow, I'm Paula, your mom's friend. It's so nice to be able to celebrate this moment with you. It was very special to be able to share this moment with your mom. She was super happy. Don't be shy about greeting them, okay? It's essential and very polite. Another point we also need to talk about regarding weddings is that weddings, as I mentioned, have a lot of protocols and rituals. So, especially during the ceremony, there will be specific rituals like the entrance of the bride and groom, the exit of the bride and groom, and other moments I mentioned. There are also protocols during the reception itself. We have a moment for the toasts, we have a moment when the bride and groom cut the cake, and we have a moment for the couple's dance. Of course, nowadays, these protocols and moments are very varied. There are couples who will follow these processes, these protocols, and there are couples who don't. Especially when it comes to the party, sometimes the couple doesn't do a dance, or sometimes there's no specific moment to cut the cake. Making a toast sometimes, not so formally. But it's natural that even in a more relaxed wedding, there are still steps and rituals that will happen at that wedding, and it's essential that you respect the rules. The wedding coordinator, for example, if the coordinator says it's time to open the dance floor and the bride and groom will have their dance, be a polite guest, step aside. If it's mentioned that a photo will be taken in front of the cake table and you're standing there getting in the way, if you see that you're blocking the photo, step aside. So be a good guest, pay attention, right? Notice the things that are happening, the flow of the event, and also take part. For example, I've been to weddings where the couple went to have their toast or even during the first dance. And there was no one there to watch or to be part of that moment. So can you imagine you go there to have your first dance with your fiancé and there's no one to watch? It's really not interesting, and it's also awkward for the couple, right? So be a good guest, take part in the moments, understand the rules that are set there, right? The cues, the processes that are going to happen, and respect them. Join in however you can. And one thing that happens at a wedding is that often we meet new people or see old friends we haven't seen in a long time. And it's essential that these people have a good first impression of who we are. And if you want to make a good first impression, click here on the side. Because here there's a recent video I made on the channel with some tips on how to make a good first impression. I'm sure this video will help you a lot, especially when you're a guest at a wedding. I'll stop here and see you in the next video.